A long time ago, in the days of dial-up internet, a friend of mine told me about a game about saving a town and slaying demons. This game was Diablo, and upon hearing about it, my 10-year-old self needed to play it. What my 10-year-old self was not ready for was how hard this game would be. You see, at the time, I had only played a few sports games that my friends had, and I was not ready to die over and over and over at the hands of skeletons and demons. So I walked away from that game thinking that maybe it wasn't for me. Later, after growing up and learning more about video games, I did return to this series with the second game, aptly named Diablo 2. Here is where my love of this series was born, and I wanted to share it with someone. So I tried to do this with my girlfriend at the time, but technical difficulties and old laptops made this a chore. Then in 2012, things changed. And I'm not talking about how I married my girlfriend, no. I'm talking about one of the first gaming experiences we had together as a married couple, Diablo 3. And while this game did bring us closer together, it also created its share of problems. Okay, time for work.
Hey, wanna play Diablo 3?
Yeah! Hey, beloved, wanna play a game together? I was thinking we could play...
Diablo 3?
Fine. What do you want to do for dinner tonight?
Wanna play Diablo 3?
But that's not... Fine. Gotta go to the... Hon, can you get me toilet paper?
You gonna play Diablo 3 with me?
But those things aren't even remotely related!
So, that's a yes, right?
That's a yes.
So, with the announcement of Diablo 2 Resurrected, we decided it was time to revisit this franchise from its very beginning and see if it had the same level of impact on our relationship. After creating our character, we began to realize that Diablo is a straightforward dungeon crawler. There was very little hand-holding or direction given, and it was up to me and my husband to discover what we had to do. This is made all the more difficult because our character moves like a runway model. Everywhere he goes.
He's very ginger in his walking.
He does kind of look like he's like, I'm walking on tiptoe.
Yeah.
Then, upon catwalking into the cathedral, we discovered that everything wants you dead. At first, this was no problem, and we were killing things easily, which was frustrating to my husband's inner child.
Oh, skeleton!
You just one-shotted.
Yay!
I swear, if they remastered this and made it easier, it's just not fair. Okay, this seems so much easier than the first time I played it.
Unfortunately, after a short while, we were running into groups of enemies and could find ourselves overwhelmed. To deal with this, we adopted an ancient strategy.
Oh boy. Oh jeez.
Stay out here and just,
You're gonna 300 it?
From there, we will funnel them into the mountain pass we call the Hot Gates. Now, in that narrow corridor, their numbers will count for nothing.
Once we adopted this strategy, we began to feel like a powerful warrior who could take on any enemy. Yeah, yay for bottlenecking. Yeah, that's a great strategy.
I mean, it works.
It's working very well right now. Although at times this led to us being a little too overconfident. Well, you're dead! I don't know where our...
Another thing we realized after playing a while was that this game also contains a game within a game, a sort of mini-game. And this wasn't just any mini-game, this was one of the most popular, most addictive, with the most engaging characters and story. all the things and the loot so that I can fit this shirt in my bag right now. Move the loot all around so then I can sell this shirt for 1 gold piece.
Aside from popular Nintendo games making an appearance, I was surprised by how far we made it through the game with few deaths. That was until we reached the third area of the game, which had us literally entering hell. These final few levels introduced tougher enemies and a layout with fewer doorways for us to use as bottlenecks. Those things wouldn't have been so bad if it weren't for the succubus. These were enemy demons who would shoot projectiles, then they often came in numbers. What really made them so annoying, though, is that they stole our strategy of hitting your enemy, then running away to try and lure said enemy into a place they could be more easily dispatched. I can now empathize with Scorpion when he says,
Get over here!
"Get back here!
Get back here. Get back here.
Get back here!"
Then, after grinding through hell, we finally arrived to fight the Lord of Terror himself. And while the final boss wasn't super hard, we still felt immense joy at defeating him. I loved experiencing this epic beginning of this franchise for the first time. And my husband was able to beat a game that had defeated him many years ago. So, did this game bring us closer together? I'd say yes, it did. And we are both excited to play the remake of Diablo 2 whenever that comes out. Until then, this is Gildea.
And Dorcas.
And we hope you will join us for the next adventure of the couple that nerds together.